Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in.
Who?
Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups. Brass. Hey guys and girls, what is up? Welcome on in. Just let me adjust my screen. There we go. How are we going? Welcome to the guitar show. Grey Dog in the house. Terry, how are you? Good to see you as well. Got some supplies today. We've got a new roll of 80 grit. A new roll of 80 grit. We got some scrapers. We've got a neck scraper there to help us with removing any bumps. We've got also a little scoop there to help us with any carving. We've got a straight edge to help us scrape. We've got a French curve to help us get into the tight spots. I've already used it on a couple of things, fixed up a couple of things. This neck is ready to go. I'm just going to mount that neck today, get the holes drilled out so I know where they're going. We'll do the body as well. We'll follow up with, once I line that up and get the bolts in, we'll mark the holes for the bridge and cut a hole for the output jack. And then all the holes should be finished with. And when we finish with the holes, we can put a big layer of colour on the front of that guy and just let that sit there, because I did some research yesterday into painting mossy surrounds, and yes, to Terry was 100% right when she said you've got to be very light on the touch. You've got to have a dark background that could be reasonably mottled or even, but you need to get those other two lighter shades, so a lighter shade of green and then that yellow over the top in very fine and structured and grouped areas to give you the shadow and to give you the translucency that you need. It's all good though, painting. I'm learning something, and thank you very much for your help yesterday, guys. It didn't fall on deaf ears. There's our neck. Okay, got to mark some holes in there. Before I do that though, I've got to get the body sorted out, mark out where those guys are going so that we can get the neck in there. Okay, so we're gonna start with that. Get those holes drilled out and get those ferrules in there for those bolts to go through. We've got a bridge here. I don't know if this is a cosmic bridge. I'll just take you down to to the bench. This is a Cosmic Black bridge. We won't be using that. We're going to be using matte black for all the hardware similar to these rings. So these rings will go there, like so. Let me just bring that up a little bit. Down there like that. Give you a bit of a better view. There we go. And this guy's going to go like that. This bridge there'll be a black matte bridge that will sit just there, just before it falls away. So we've got this carve done beautifully just away from there. Bridges up nice and flat on the high side. We'll be able to get a nice low action on that neck. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is line that neck up now. Well, before I do that, actually, I'm going to get the holes drilled in here, so I can line that neck up. Okay, we know that that's the width there. We need to mark the outside parameters of this neck on here with a pencil. Get a pencil and just mark the outside parameters there and there. So I need to even out. And if I mark that, there, and if I mark that, there, I can take some measurements across there. I need to get those guys lined up properly. So we're going to have 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there, at a slanted angle to match that. So the ferrules we're going to use are black. They're going to be these guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have matching screws. So these guys are going to be arranged like and I'm going to measure those out now and work that out. Like that. Okay. That's where those guys are going to go. Let's work out where they need to be exactly. Nifty, what is going on? Welcome on in, my friend. Good to see you here. Let me just clean these glasses because I cannot see a thing. And that's not good. I don't know if you've seen the carve, Nifty. I'll show Nifty the carve. There's the back of it, which looks pretty good. You like the back of that? Looks pretty sexy. Let's check the front of that. The front's looking pretty good too. So we've got the carve there. You can see where that little sap line cavity was there. I filled that. I backfilled that. That's getting stained. You won't see that. Especially with the colour going on there, you won't see that at all. But there's our carve. So it's looking quite good. You can see the shape of that guy. You can see the horns carved away there. The drop off on those guys. There's the other guy there. You can probably see that dropping away there. And you can see the back here. You've got that nice fall away there. The bridge sits nicely up there. We've got these rounded circles, platform areas to hold those switches down. So it's going to look pretty good. I'm going to mark out these guys now and get this ready so that I can drill these holes on the press and get these guys in, as they say. This neck's looking really good. That neck's nice and slim. Got to touch up a couple of these guys still. I'll be doing that later. Got the carve in there, so that's looking quite ready to go. Almost. Let's put that neck away. Get that out of the way. For now, we're going to mount that soon. Super smooth. That's the one. Grey dog in the house, of course. He's visiting, and it's always good to see the dog here. The dog's in the house. It's always good to have the dog here. Okay, let's take some measurements firstly with my little rule. Just want to check and see if these guys are centered and what the deal there is. Okay, that's 30 millimeters in, and that is also 30 millimeters in. So yes, we're centered there. So 15 in, 20 in, I should say, is the center. No, 15 in will be the center of that space. Who's spitting at us? The big sub from Nifty. Thank you, Nift. 24 months, 2 years. Congratulations. And you're using your Prime. Thank you so much, my friend. That's bloody beaut. That is, let me tell you. Appreciate you a lot. Thank you for that. What's going on here? We're a bit out. Hang on a second. Let me sort this out because we're not happy about that. There we go. That's better. 3 there. Okay, that's not too good. I think we might have to go a bit closer in there. Might have to go to 12. 24. Better. Just going to draw a line through there, just to line those areas up so we know where the centre is going to be. Okay. We've got to get down as far as we can, about there. And there. Okay, that's where we're putting those guys. Let's mark those out. Let me just grab a little skinny pen that'll mark those holes. Okay, we know where they're going. Let's grab our little spike, give that a little bit of a shkadonk. A shkadonk. There. 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 And one there. Okay, there's our lines. Now, we need to drill those through. Let's get the size that we need. We've got to go down. First, we've got to drill right through. I'm going to do the big holes first. Let's measure those diameters of these guys and grab the drill. This guy is 14 millimeters in diameter. I'm going to use 14. I'm going to try and grab. Have I got a 14? I think I've got a 15. Let's have a look at what we got here. Where's that drill? Check this guy here. Yep, 14.75 is my Forstner. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to go to the drill press and I'm going to go down about 5 millimeters. Just get these just buried under the surface. Let me just measure. These should be about 4. No, they're actually 5. Okay, so we're going to go down about a 1/4 inch, 6 mil. I'm going to measure about 6 mil down on this guy and get this guy down to 6 mil. that. That's 6 right there. So let's mark that. I will do this on the press. I'm just marking out the line firstly on this drill bit so I can. So go down that far and leave that 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, we're going to move the camera to the other room so that you guys can see. Let me just catch up with the chat while we're here. Welcome to the show, guys and girls. Good to see you here. Who have you got? Mav's in the house too. Mav, how you doing, mate? Good to see you as well. Say hi to Terry. Everyone knows that Terry needs to be said hello to because she gets upset. It's a me, Mario. Is he in the house? He's somewhere. Maz, where are you? Mazza. There he is. Mario. Good to see you, my friend. Excellent. Okay. Let's get this camera over to the other room. I don't know how that's going. Oh, no, it should be fine. It should work pretty well. I'll just move that guy and see how we go. We will get new cameras when we can afford it. We've got a couple of other priorities at the moment. I will get one camera in the next week ordered, and it'll probably take a week or two to get here, but we can persevere with these at the moment. I guess we'll have to make, as they say, we have to make hay while the sun shines. What's going on here? Bloody hell, I've got cables everywhere. Okay. All right, we should be good. Let me just plug this in. Right, let's see what that looks like. Who have we got? Pop's in the house. Blacksmith Pop, what's going on? Good to see you. How are you, my friend? Good to have you here. Mav with a big 50 bits. My goodness. Thank you very much, Mav. Appreciate that. And obviously Nifty with a resub. 2 years, my friend. Congratulations. I'm sending you a crushed up muffin and a melted candle in an envelope. Enjoy. What does that look like? Ooh, very close up. Let me move that back a little bit. Let me just move that camera. We'll get it right eventually. Eventually. second, guys. We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's check that out. It might be a bit close as well. I'm not sure. I've got a new position. That camera is limited to where I can put it. Oh, that might be okay. Yeah, try and bring that back a bit. Hang on, guys. It's another camera and it hasn't got the same stand mount, so I can't really mount it where I had the other one. I'll try. Let's try. Let us try. Let us try. That might work. I think I've got it. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at where this guy is. What do we got there, guys? What does that look like? Aha! That might have to do. I think that's good enough. Terry, are you happy with that? 29 months, Terry. My God. Nice. Okay. That'll do. We can see. We can see. Let me see if I can see what you can see. Can I see what you can see? There we go. We've got the... There. My word. That'll do. Guy out. Let's change that guy over. Get our little baby guy in there. Got to go down 6 millimeters or about a quarter inch. And then we'll be able to slot those little guys in. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da. Where is that drill bit? Did I take it with me? No, it's still on the old drill. Right here. Okay. I reckon you've been around for at least 2 years as well, Mav. Yeah, no, that's all good. Okay. Rightio, as they say. Let's get this height right so we can get down on it, as Cool in the Gang used to say. That's it, right there. Problem. Okay, that's fine. Let me just get the height set for this. Down. That's where I want it to stop. Right there. Need to lower this down a bit. And get that over the hole. Yep, okay, now just adjust the drop. Not quite. A bit too much. Perfectamundo. Okay, that's what we want. Let's go, guys and girls. Let's drill them holes. those little guides and just test fit one. Like I bought one, there it is. Sits in there nicely. Once we bolt that in, she'll be fine and dandy, okay? They're a little bit loose, but that's okay. They don't have to be tight. We just want them in there. And of course, once the bolts go in there, they'll be pulled in and hold that neck to that body. Okay, so we've got those guys sorted out. Fitting in there. I'm going to go just a touch deeper. Just a little bit deeper. I just want the top of that metal bar just under the surface. Just under the surface. I don't want it flush. I want it just under the surface. Let's double check that. Okay, so we've got it right there, nice and flush, just under the surface of that little ring, and that's where we want them. Let's head back to get the holes, or actually I'll change the drill now, and I'll get the holes put through there for the neck, all the way through the center of that, and then we can line the neck up and do the same to it. Can you guys hear me okay on that? I don't know if you guys could hear me properly in that room. Let me see. There's probably there's no bench mic with that camera. It's okay. So what I've done there, so you know, guys and girls, is I've put that hole in there. All four of them, they're now flush. I'll just change cameras and show you what I mean. So we've got those done. These little guys going here. Okay. We need to now grab the smaller screw, or the screw size drill bit, go through the center of those channels right through where the bolts are going to, where the screws are going to go through, and mark them on the neck as well. Line up the neck, mark them, do the neck. Once the neck is on here, we can then put the bridge holes in. And of course, finally, what we'll do then is put in the cavity for the output jack, and then we can do some color before we finish. So we'll spend the stream getting the rest of the holes in this guy, what we need to do. So first things first is the neck. So we're going to grab our neck drill bit now, and we're going to go and fill or create those holes for the neck. I think it's a 4mm. Let me double check that. And I'll check the screws that I'm going to use. I always check the screws because sometimes you never know. They give you a screw that's, it's 3.8. So they give you a screw that's slightly different from the previous pack, and you've got to make sure you always double check things, even though you've done it 1,000 times before. Just check it every time. No, we can't hear you in there. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a mic in there, Terry, unfortunately. That's the problem, I think. Let me just check the boom mic parameters. I might be able to change it. I just want to see if there is a microphone. Okay, all right. Desktop microphone, USB audio device, live cam. Oh, yeah, no, hang on. That works. Oh, hello. Does that work? No? Yes? Maybe? Who knows? Jerry, do you know? Does it work? Let me see if there's another mic here. Laptop cam. Ooh. Laptop cam. What's that do? What's that do? Nothing. Does it do anything? No. Alright, we can... You hear echo? Okay. Alright. In that case, I'm trying to find it here on the control panel so that I don't... Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'm going to turn that off because I don't think that's right, guys. Give me a sec. Don't know if that's working. No. Let me go to that one. Okay, I'm going to switch that off because that's not, it's a no-no. I don't want to stuff it up. Bench mic. Main. Where's my bench mic? It's gone. It's gone. Kaputski. I can no longer find my bench mic. Right. Anyway, I'm going to have to fix that up. I don't know what I've done. I've just stuffed something up. But anyway, let's get this guy back to where it needs to be. Ah, desktop audio 2. Hang on a second. What do we got here? What do we got here? Sorry guys, I've been distracted now with this crap. Okay, alright. Don't know. Look, you know what? Let's just leave it. See what happens. Get back to the workbench and we'll have a look and see what's going on in there. I've got my drill. I've got to check. Oh no, before we do that, let me just quickly check the screws. Where are those screws? Where are those screws? Make sure they're the right size and we don't get gazunked. Debunked, gazunked. Give me a sec, guys. Just going to double check them. Bloody hell. Long guys, I'm just trying to find the screws that I'm using. Let's see what size they are. Here we go. Okay, so a good measurement here. 4.1. What did I say this was? 4 millimeters. It's about the same. Yep, that's good. There's always a little bit of allowance. But they're exactly the same. So I've got my drill bit. Let me go into that room and see what they are. The acoustics are great in there. Willie, what is happening? Willie's always positive. Willie, your positivity is simply sickening. Let me just say. All right. Let's get these center holes done. Pull this guy out. Let's pull this guy out. As they say, Come on. Can you hear me in here now? What's that like? Was that audible in there? Let me know, guys, if you actually heard me speaking in the dungeon room. Loud and clear. Okay, Terry, sorry, don't get upset. I'm only asking. All right, let's go. Loud and clear. That's good. I just want to make sure you can hear. I'm happy to just not say anything, but I'm pretty sure you'll be probably bored with that, and you like me to say goofy doofus things. I bet you get a bit of a kick out of my silliness. Ew. Right, let's have a look at this. What do we got? We've got to get this guy drilled right through. So I'm just going to change the depth of that range to go all the way through. Not quite there, a bit more. There we go, that's going through. Excellent. Okay, let's do it. So we mark up, we've got the center lines, obviously the center holes already there from the previous Forstner bit point. So I'm just going to drive right through there. This is level. Everything's level. It's at 0 degrees. Okay, drilling is done. Let's go back to the other room. We're frozen? Alright, let me get back to you. How's that? That camera froze, did it? Okay, sorry about that. I'll see what happened there. Let's see if I can restart that camera quickly. Hang on a second. All my cameras are playing up. What a pain in the butt. Activate. That should be unfrozen now. How's that? Is that better? I'll bring that camera back in. We're done in there for now. Pop this guy back up here, and we should be okay. Super cam! Oh man, I am so bored. Let's see what that looks like. There we go, we're back. Okay, cool. So we've got these little guys that go in here, like so. Like so, like so. Nice fit. We're going to drive. We're going to set up the neck now, line up the neck, mark the holes to the back of the neck, go back to the drill press. I'll put those holes in, then we'll mount this neck and position the bridge to the scale length. Spinano, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Welcome onto the stream. Okay, let's get that neck in. This is the neck for those of you that haven't seen it. Okay, we've still got to clean up some of those inlays. It's carved, it's ready to go. We've just got to get the thick scratches out of there, dress this up a little bit, clean her up before we coat, but we want to get holes in here, get this fitted, lined up. It should be pretty straight off the bat as far as I can recall. I'm going to put a center line down here, so I'm going to grab some tape. As we always do, Terry will tell you we need a center line. Terry, do we need a center line? We need a command called center line. Ha! How can we be bored? You're here. Exactly. That's the one. This is the part Willie likes. Willie, do you like the centerline BS? Do you like all this centerline BS and lining things up so they're nice and perfect? You've got the OCD profile to probably potentially like this process. Am I right? Am I right? Just measuring straight across the neck at 2 places, getting a halfway mark, drawing a line, and we're going to line up our big yardstick with this guy here and make sure we're lined up to the center. There's our center line. We know the middle's down here. I'm just going to mark the center line down here. There we go. Just a little bit of pencil mark. Grab our big yardstick. Where is it? Yep, you're right, as always. Ha! That would be the day that I was right. Let's measure this up and see what we're looking like. So we line that up and we drop that down. And as you can see, it lines up perfectly, so we don't need to skew the neck any which way. If I bring this up like that, that center line edge goes all the way and meets. And seeing as this is dead straight, that therefore must be pretty much dead straight as well. So nothing required of this neck other than that to clamp it up and to screw that, and mark the holes, I should say. Let me grab the clamp just so it doesn't fall out. Clamp that up, like so. Flip it, like so. Mark it. With my little spiky guy, he fits straight down the middle there, and I'll just put a little divot in there. And I've got to do this side, that's not very good. I've got to hold that in place, move this guy a little bit. Get these 3 done at least. All we need is 3, and then we can do the 4th once we've bolted it in. Okay, so if I take this guy off, pull that neck out. Okay, I've got some screw holes there. Let's make them quite visible. One, two, three. There'll be a 4th one there. Let's get this guy drilled out and fitted. Measure the distance I need to drill. I need to go to just before the fretboard. I should get the screws. Give me a second, I've got to find these screws. Have a look at what I've got to do with them. Bear with, bear with. Okay, here we go. Alright, found them. These guys here. Screw. So what I want to do is I want to see how deep this is. So I'm going to pop this back in. Fit that all the way down. Like that. And I just want to, in relation to where the fretboard ends, I just want to measure that thickness and allow a little bit for it. That screw's going to drop a couple of mil. No deeper than that. Sorry, 41.8 millimeters. 41.8 millimeters. Let's check the length of that screw. Bloody perfect. Just a bit longer than that, which is perfect, because by the time that sits into that cavity, we should be good. So 41 is where I need to go. 41 mil deep into that neck. Sorry, not into that neck. Subtract the thickness of the neck heel from 41. 24, so that leaves us 17 millimeters of hole to drill. No, sorry, I lie. 17 should be the thickness of this thing. Let me double check that. It is. Okay. So 24, just checking that. Just nearly the thickness of the heel. 24. Okay, 24 mil. We're going to go to 23 millimeters. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to 23 millimeters down in this guy. It's an inch thick. We're going to go just about that inch thick, but it's going to end up pretty much there. It's going to end up there. Not there. We don't want to cut into this guy. We don't want to push that fretboard, put any pressure, undue pressure on that fretboard and potentially get a bump in these last 4 or 5 frets, which is quite common. You get a hill there. That's why a lot of guys, when they level their frets, they have a downhill ramp. They sand a fall away, and Orby talks about that. Orbiter Guitars, Greg from Orbiter Guitars talks about a fall away sometimes, because you get that little rise up there because of the screw pressure pushing that fretboard a millimeter or a fraction of a millimeter higher than it should be. It makes a difference when you're talking about string height that's really low. So we're going to drill a little bit lower to accommodate that, so that it's pushing into the wood, but it hasn't actually pushed into the fretboard and try and naturally put a bow in that fretboard. So we're going to go below the level of the fretboard by about a mil or 2. Okay, 23 I said. Did I say 23? Yes, I did. We're going to drill down 23. Let's do that. I've got my drill bit already in place. I'm going to go and just quickly do that here and bring this back. So I'm not going to move the camera again. Give me a second and I'll be right back. Focus, you clown. Leslie in the house. What is going on? Good to see you. The cleaning lady. What did I say about a center line? Terry, what did I say about a center line? I don't know. What did I say about a center line? We've got a center line down here. We put a center line there. We lined up the neck. It was perfect. We marked out the holes. There's 3. We're going to put those 3 in, bolt this in, get the 4th in, and once this is bolted in, measure out the scale length again, remark where that bridge has got to go, and put the bridge holes in. Of course, there's other holes to do as well, like the holes from the back of the bridge to get the strings through there. Let's quickly get this guy drilled out. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So that means I can get this guy in there, and I should be able to screw that. I've got 3 done. Screw the 3 in, do the 4th when I'm ready. Doesn't need to have 4 in there just to get this marked up. So let's try that. Let's put this neck in. Let's get this guy lined up and see where we're at. But don't put that little guy in there, like so. Put it in the right way. That always helps. Terry, it always helps to put it in the right way. And we'll draw that down into there. It's a tight fit, but it's not too tight. It's tight enough to drive without it splitting anything or complaining or groaning about anything. Nice and gently. There we go. Done. And of course, we can pull that out and get some ratchet drive in there. Nice and tight. Let's get another one in there. That's the only hole I haven't done. I've done that one, and that one. We'll get that second one in there. Come on. Oh boy, let me get these screws out, guys and girls. One, two. We only need 2 more for this. Oh, sorry, yes, 2 more. This away. Okay, let's get this guy in here. We'll get the diagonal going first. Done. Looking good. One more in here. And we'll double check the alignment again. Whoops, get up there. Okay. So, there's 3 of the 4. Looks good. Looks dead flat. She's flat. Let's have a look at what she looks like on the screen. Left-handed, of course. There it is. Okay, so we've got her in there. Nice and flat, nice and straight. And now we can measure the scale and mark out where that bridge has got to go. But that's the one. Terry loves the drilling. Trauma Train Rich, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Okay. There she is. That's low light. He's gonna shred like crazy on this thing. It is so light. Okay, what I need to do is measure the scale length. 25.5 inch. He's doing standard E tuning, but also a B on the bass string. He's going to change that to a B when he wants to, but 25.5 accommodates a B, apparently. I've never played a B tuning, so I don't know. According to him, his current Solar guitar is a 25.5 inch. So I'm just building what he's asked me to build, which is fine. But he uses standard E tuning as well as a 25.5 inch scale. So he said he wanted a 25.5 inch scale. That's what he's going to get. Terry, do we give our customers what they want, or do we just do whatever we want?
Karen Day, flip it on the B side. What is going on? Flip it to the B side. There's the A side. There's the B side. The B string is going to go up here. But everyone's favorite, the G string, is going down here still. So relax. Relax. Yes, give them what they want, but do it our way. Terry, I like your compromise there. Always, how do I say this? You're not a control freak, but... Okay, let's get our scale length ruler out. 25.5, measure that up. Let me change back to the bench. Ah! Camera's fallen. Damn it. Sorry about the vertigo. Let's fix this up again. Bloody thing, it's pissing me off. You have no idea. Tilly, stop jumping around. Tilly's going nuts. Tilly's a cattle dog, a blue cattle dog. She's beautiful. I might get her. Should I get Tilly? Let's get Tilly. Tilly! Tilly! Till. Tilly! Come on. Come on. Come on, Till. She used to throw the ball into the door so I can play with her. Tilly, come on. Where are you? Tilly, come here. She's going to get the ball. She had to go and get the ball first. Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing, girl? Come here. You gonna come inside? No? Come on, throw me the ball. No, she's out there. She's doing her thing. Just keep an eye out. You'll probably see a dog stick its head through the door and throw a ball in. Right, 25.5 inch scale. Tilly, that's her. She's being a silly. She is. That's what she's doing. That's exactly what she's doing. There we go. Get that up a bit higher. Okay. 25.5 from the nut slot. The nut slot. So, inside of the nut slot, 25.5 inch. Oh yeah. Okay. It's pretty much there. Let's mark that out. And on this side, I'm just going to do it both sides, just in case there's a slight variation. I doubt there is. I'm pretty good with these things, funnily enough. 25.5. Right. Let's rule that little guy across there. Tilt! Get your butt in here. Okay, there's our 25.5. Let me grab a bridge. This is a cosmic black. We're not using cosmic black. We're going to go matte black. We've got to fit that girl there so that we know where the scale length is. Okay. This has got to go the other way. I've got to flip these, but that's okay. We're not intonating at the moment. What I've got to make sure is that we can intonate. I'm just going to bring this one right up. Get a screwdriver. Yep, it's pretty good. Sydney's pretty good today. It's gorgeous. Sunny day, no wind. I took the dogs for a walk this morning at 5:45 a.m. It was still dark. I always look up because it was a beautiful clear night and lots of stars and stuff. And I saw this, what's it called? Skylink, like the SpaceX satellite system. Skylink. It's a train of lights a satellite train. There was about 30 lights in a dead straight line traveling really quickly across the sky, in the night sky. And I thought, that's a UFO? I don't know what that is. I couldn't identify it. So I went back and I Googled it. And sure enough, I thought it was something like a satellite, although I've never seen anything like that. It could have been some drones. But I thought, where would they be taking drones at 5:45? There's definitely been some military activity over my area, heavy military activity lately. Lots of Black Hawks flying pretty low in my area. There is an air base about 20 k's from my place, not far. But I've never seen Black Hawks fly over in the middle of the day. So there's something going down. But yeah, it was interesting, let me tell you. All right, I've got this guy lined up and intonated somewhat to the shape that we need it to be. I'm just going to get that lined up so I can get the 25 and a half stuff going. That's just about there. Yeah, that's where it's got to go, right there. That's as far back as it can go. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty good. Before I do anything, I do need to line some stuff up. So I'm going to use a straight edge, and I'm going to pretend I've got a nut here that I can borrow. Actually, I don't need a nut. I'm going to put some tape across here and get some markings. So I'm going to get a tape along here, and I'm going to get some markings with my fret slot rule. And I'm going to mark out where the strings are going to line up and drag that straight edge down as if I've got strings on either side to get that bridge centered properly in line with the neck edge. So we need some tape. Here it is. Terry, we need our little slot ruler. She hits first. There you go. The true mark of a Terry is one that smashes you first. That's what we like to see. Aggression. Awesome. I love it. Bring it on. Huh. Fisticuffs at 10 paces. WrestleMania at Terry's place. Everybody bring a big soda and a big bucket of popcorn. Go. Very funny. Let's grab our fret slot rule. This little guy helps us rule the frets, the wall of frets. I've got a hole in my shoe, look, you can see it. I'm going to throw these out, these are done. Just thought I'd wear them for a few days, they're so comfortable. Okay, what do we got? We've got to get this guy marked up. I've got some predetermined markings here for this neck width. I generally use anything between this range here. And what I'm trying to do here, now bass is on the other side here, I've got to remember that. It's not a traditional guitar, it's a lefty. So I've got to flip it and get the bass side on this side. Yeah, we're good. Measure that in. That's pretty much where it's going to be. Let me come down a bit. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That's where I want them. That's where I want them. That's where I want them. Let me mark those. Hang a boot. What's going on here? Hang on, funny business happening. Let's check this again. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. No, that's 2. Let's go this way. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That's 2. Oh no, that's too narrow. What am I doing? Gotta go this way. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still too narrow. Wow, okay, let me go this way. Alright, let's see what this does. This might work. Nope, this one will work for sure. Yeah, this is the one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that might be the one. So let's do that. There's our 6 string slots marked out. You can see those dots. So that's where the strings are going to meet the bridge. The nut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even space on either side. Lots of room on the outside of the guitar. It's probably too narrow. I'm going to just move that a little bit further. What did I use? I used this guy. Let me see. Might go one more. No, narrow. I saw it's too. Hang on. It's got to be wider. Okay, let's try that. Okay, that might be better. One more. Let's have a look here. That's better. We'll do this one. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. 6. Okay. Now we grab that straight edge, the big guy, this guy, and I pretty much line up that small E string, and you can see where it sits. Okay, that little E string, that thin string, is sitting pretty well and there's the gap to the edge of the fretboard. So we've got the string sitting on there, and the other string will sit, of course, here. Straight down there on that side. On the outside you can't see it. I'm on this side. If I lift that up, I go down over it, you might be able to see the gap. This arm isn't long enough. I might just turn it there. There we go. Okay, there you go. Right, there's the gap. Here. So we've got this guy lined up. That string's going to go straight down there. That's pretty. The thing we want here is evenness. That's pretty good. Okay, and over here we've got. Too bad. So that's pretty good. So that bridge is pretty much right where it needs to be. I'm just going to move it slightly. Just going to move that bridge slightly. Measure this edge, which is exactly 11 millimeters, and this edge is 10, so I'm going to bring this up just a touch. Yeah. Check that edge. That's going to be fine. That's going to be real good. Okay, we're done. So now we're going to mark that bridge. So be very careful. We quickly just place our fingers over that. Grab our little hole doover. Should grab our pen. Pop it straight in there.
like so. Right there. That's where our bridge goes. Quickly measure the distance to the center line to see how off center we are, if we are in fact off center at all. That's 34 millimeters. That's 34 millimeters. It's exactly centered, so it's perfect. It's a perfectly positioned neck and alignment. So we're not off centered at all. It's right down the middle in relation to that center line of the guitar body. Perfect. That's what you want in a guitar. It's got to line up. Doesn't matter if the neck's slightly off center, as long as everything else lines up with it, it'll still work. But it's always nicer when everything's centered. Am I right, Terry? Should I be as OCD enough to get everything centered? It's a hardtail. Yes, I use a lot of hardtails, Nath. How are you, mate? Good to see you. So this is this lefty. Right, so what I'm going to do now, guys and girls, with this lefty that I've bolted on, you can see the bolts are in there. 3 of them are anyway. I've got to get the 4th one in there as well. This lefty needs these holes drilled now. And of course, it needs an output jack hole as well before we start putting a coat of colour on that top. Okay, we've got to get a mahogany brown stain on there. We're going to use that as the base of our artwork. It's our canvas. We are then going to have a green moss paint applied, stain applied through here, and just the effect of make it look as mossy as we can. There'll be a black burnt stump crackled like a log that's burnt crisp black and turned charcoal through the middle. And of course the natural wood with the mahogany stain will remain here as we go from the base of the tree up. This burnt stump has got moss on the bottom. That's the look we're going for and the theme of this guitar. And that's going to give it a bit of contrast and a bit of texture and a bit of colour. First rule of yoga, center yourself. Leslie, very good. Second rule of yoga, don't fall over. Perfectly centered is the only option. Terry, the OCD queen, commands and demands that that is this case. Now I need to do a little bit of drilling here with these guys, so let's just grab our little pilot holes. We don't need to make big holes here, just pilot where they're going to go. And of course we're going to work on the through holes after we mount the bridge, because we want to get them right in while the bridge is in place so they go straight down on the press. Let me get this up. Let's get this guy drilled out, at least the 5 basic holes drilled out. Just an inch in, or not even an inch, probably about just 20 millimeters, 3/4 of an inch or so. I just want to make sure that we've got those holes piloted, and we're ready to go with the colour, and we know where they're going to be. So first things first, I'm going to just quickly give that a little bit of a spinkle, what I call a spinkle. Ba-doing, 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 and ba-doing. Just a tiny pilot hole, just to get us going. Oops. Came loose, sorry about that. Chuck's a bit wobbly on this drill. Okay, we know where our bridge is going. Good. Now we can do the cavity for this guy here, the access cavity for this. So let's grab our Forstner. Let's see what we're going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this neck off because I need to get the fine sanding done on this body as well. So let's get that neck off. Put those screws away and that bit. The screws and the rings and the ferrules that hold those screws in, we'll get rid of those. Okay, put this neck away. Put these guys away, all this hardware. Let's pop that in the cupboard so we don't lose it. Bridge, rings. Okay, and of course we can now lift that up a little bit. Let's get this guy turned over. Let's clean this guy up. Before we do that, what I want to do is prepare and get that access cavity hole done so we can then apply some colour. So we're lefty, so it's down here. We're going to mark out where we want it. It's got to come out about there. I want it right there. Let's grab the hardware that we're going to use. Always refer to the hardware before you do anything to make sure that you've got the right bits and pieces that you need. And the right sizing, more importantly. So we're going to use hang on guys, let me just see. We're going to use a cat's eye doobie whacker, as I call it. And of course, I need to get the right sized Watsumi Doobit. I'll be using a black cup, but I do want to get the size right. Sorry, I'll be using a black, so I'm just going to get this guy in there. So the hole I need for this guy is, measure this guy across, where is it? This is a gold one, but I'm going to use a black one with the same size. Here's my calipers. Let's just measure the thread tap for this guy. Okay, it's 9.4, so I'm going to grab a 10mm drill. I'm going to center this first, so I'm going to measure across here. .5, so we're going to go 19.25. Terry wants me to be exact. It's not right. 38. 38. Yep. So that's 24. Sorry. 19. What was I thinking? 28. 19. No wonder it didn't look right. There's 19. Right there. There we go. Grab myself a 10mm drill, bit, 10mm, this guy here. Grab the drill. Now let me have a look at this. Hang on a second. Actually, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. I've measured the wrong thing. What I need to measure is the outside of the cut. So let's do that again. Why am I such a doofus, Terry, sometimes? I actually measured the wrong thing. This is why I always check these things. Okay, we need 17. So I'm going to get a 20mm drill bit, or as I call it, what's this, 5/8? Should be 5/8, 15. That's not wide enough. 3/4 is too big. I know, I've got the Forstner for that. Here we go. So these guys here should do the trick. This might be the trick here. 20, that's the one. I need that guy there. And I'm going to use that guy, and I'm going to stick that guy through there. Through the guts. Terry, through the guts. Right there. So let's do that without further ado. Nearly through. very gentle because I don't want to break right through and damage the cavity. So I'm just cutting very slowly. Almost through now. Almost through. Just holding it back so it doesn't kick on me. Going to hit it with a spade and just get through the last little bit with a 5/8. It doesn't matter if it's small or right down the end. That's what you get when you get right through the middle. And it's clean. We didn't want to damage the pocket, so we came through there. It's nice and clean. Okay, so we've got our access cavity. That guy will fit in there now. So if we use so that guy should fit straight in there like so. There it is. And of course this will be bolted to an eye plate that will fit over that. So that's just the right size. So that'll sit in there like so. And that's where we access our cable to our output. And now we've got all the holes there pretty much, with the exception of the strap lock, the strap buttons. We can do them last. I'm going to just quickly give this a sand and one coat of stain, because we need to start getting that base colour down on this colour. So I've got to sand this pencil off, give this a light sand with 240, and then we're going to hit it with the colour. Yow, that's hot. Okay, so what have we got? Let me catch up. No chipping. That's the whole point, Tom. We try and do. Sometimes we chip them, you know, sometimes you can't control that, but this time I did a very, very slow controlled cut. Wanted to get a clean hole. It's a customer's guitar. We've got to make sure we give it, you know, do a little bit of pride in the work and make sure things are neat and tidy. We've still got to route out and clean this out. That's not a big deal. I just want to get some colour on here first. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give that a light sand just with my hands to get all the loose debris off there. A couple of little surface scratches off there. First coat's really good because it will show up any other fine scratches, and then we can sand that through and lighten it up a bit and put another coat on and get it just right. So without further ado, let's clean that up. I've got my 240 here. I'm going to hit it with a 240. Plug hole, that's the one, Miss Pluggy. One thing I haven't done is the carve on this thing. So there's a carve, sorry, I did do the carve. What I mean is I haven't got the scoops done yet, and I won't do them yet until we get my carved chisels that I've ordered to arrive, and then I'm going to put a very, very sharp, I need the chisels to get a very, very sharp scoop on each end. Scoop on each end. It's going to go down something like this. Pretty far down, and then up like that. You can see that scoop. That's the size of the scoop. It's quite sizable. I'm going to use the chisels to get that right. But we need to put a base color on here anyway. So let's do that. It will show up any other fine scratches as well. It will actually make the grain pop a little bit more. And so we do it, and we don't mind. I'm just going to do the top. I'm just going to do the top. Just to get the top ready for action. Always sand sort of with the grain. Okay. Let's give that a quick wipe down. It's a beautiful piece of wood, let me tell you. It looks fantastic. Who's ready for colour? Terry, are you ready for colour? Is Terry ready for some colour? Let me get that right up there. No, that's the one. Whew. Okay. Colour time. What do we need, Terry? We need gloves, right? Always ready for colour. Terry was born with a paintbrush between her toes. Harpo K86 or Harpok 86. How you doing? Harp OK 86. Let the colorization begin. That's the one. Well, we're only using our mahogany stain. We're going to put a layer of just a thin coat. It'll bring up the scratches, if any other scratches, and it will hide and get into that grain and raise that grain as well. This is not sealed yet. It will help with that. The oil will definitely seal it once we put the top coats on there. Yes, indeed. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so let's get, here's our stain. I need some rags. Let me get some clean rags. And the way I apply is directly to the rag and then wipe it in. I don't pour any stain on the job itself because it tends to build up in a blotchy state. So I always use a rag to sponge it on if you like, or rub it in if you like. Let's go. All right, here we go. We can see. There it is. This stuff stinks. My God. This is mahogany, a reddish, purplish red stain. Just get into that grain, work it in. We're going to give it a second coat. We just want to get a coat on and mainly raise that grain and show some blemishes. Spots there I've got to fix up. This carve looks really good. Scratch just here I've got to remove. Rub that in, work that in. Try and get all the pores covered. Big scratch at the bottom there. Good to see. This is why I do this. It does bring up the scratches. There's only one there and one on the edge there. That's not too bad. Another scratch there, another scratch there. So this is good. We'll be able to sand those perfectly clean and out of there. That tiger stripe's starting to pop a little bit. Ooh. Stain, I wash, I stain, I wash. Another scratch there. I found about 4 or 5 scratches and they're quite big, but you couldn't see it because of the colour, the lightness of the wood. It blended in nicely, but now we'll be able to fix those and remove those blemishes and make it flawless. To get right in here. Get into those little crevices of those little cutouts. Just working over those edges, making sure it gets a nice deep coat. We've got to be really, really penetrative with the oil, with the stain I should say. Just get right in there in the grain, help it lift a little bit. We'll give it a light sand, we'll give it another coat. There we go. That doesn't look too bad, looks pretty good. Let's get this on and let's get these off. Okay, so there's our mahogany stain. Okay, base coat. You can see it's accentuated the grain. Okay, we've got some scratches to take care of, but that's okay, we'll do that. You can see the carve a lot better now. With that light reflecting, you can see the transition lines. We've still got some scooping to do up here before we put our second coat on. But that's a good base coat. I'm going to do some fine sanding on the sides and the back, and we're going to get a coat on the back as well. What do you think of that, Terry? Is that a lovely, lovely colour? Do you like that? Looks great. Nifty likes it. My God, Nifty. Who would have thought Nifty would like a guitar? He likes all guitars. He's a guitar aficionado, as we say. There it is. I like that a lot. And with a bit of colour now, if you can imagine, there's our tree stump right up here. We're going to have a little bit of black through here and a lot of mossy green down the bottom from that horn down the bottom edge and up to about the buttons. There'll be some moss growing, and I'm going to feather it so it's such that we've got some fingers. So moss tends to grow and climb. We're going to have a little rivulets. Is that a word? Leslie, is that a word? Rivulet? Little rivulets of moss sticking up, fingerlings if you like. But we're going to have that, and then of course the black burnt stump is going to have cracking. It's going to be charcoal with a deep black vein effect to show the opening up of the charred log or the charred bark. And then of course that's going to remain natural. And the neck, of course, if we put the neck up against it, you'll see that that streaky ebony really adds to that natural theme. Okay. So that brown, that really adds to that natural theme, like a limb off the tree, coming off the side of the tree. It's interesting. The gouge above the neck pickup. The gouge above the neck pickup. Yeah, I'm going to fix that, but what gouge are we talking about? There's a gouge there, or the two holes in the neck pickup. What are you referring to, Tom? Gouge above. There are a couple of, that one there. Oh, I mean, there's a couple of scratches here and there. There's a couple of scratches here and there. That's going to stay like that. Oh, there's that thing there. Oh no, that's nothing. That's where actually the wire in there, because it comes from there and it's going to sit in there and gut. If that's what you're talking about, it actually will help with that cable settling under the body of the one thing with pickups is the wires are terminated under the back plate, so you need room for those wires to bend and move, and that groove is just going to help, because I don't like putting in very deep cavities. They're just deep enough to take the screw, and the screws of course are obviously deeper, the screw pockets, because you want to elevate and push them down as you elevate the pickup height. But the base of the plate, you don't want. In actual fact, it'd be good to have a groove right across the face and let any cable lie into there and underneath the surface. But it's okay. It's fine. I'm going to fix that up and clean up as much of that as I can. Wait till it's finished. It's going to look $1,000,000 better. It's still in the rough stages at this stage, as I like to call it. But that's all I'm going to do for today, guys and girls. So thank you for being here. I don't know who's on. Have I got a phone? Did I bring my phone down? Probably not. Terry, who can we raid? Is there anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Let me check. I'm going to bring up my own thingy-me-bob. What's he do with it? And check. While that's firing up, oh, now we're getting a little bit of lag. B. Bumstead in the house. Greggles is here as well. Greg, have you seen this thing? We're starting to get some colour on there. This is the lefty I was talking about. The Viking lefty. Okay, so there she is. Starting to get there. So it's going to have a pretty natural theme. This is just one coat of stain. I'm going to rub that back fix up some scratches. This has brought up a couple of little surface things that I need to fix up. Got the carve done now, so it's a very mild carve, you can see. Just round it off. We've got a bit of a carve on the horns there, a bit of a bevel coming off there. You can see that river, another one on that side. We've got to chisel out some pretty deep, angry scoops in there. The runes are on there. It's all coming together. We've got to do the back as well. It's got the cut in the back. We're getting there. It's nice and sharp. It's nice and metally. It's looking great. It's a really light. This is like really light. You could do all that with this and it wouldn't even hurt. You know, even with my bad shoulder, I could probably fail to play it behind my head. But yeah, it's coming along nicely, and happy with that. We've got the holes and we've got the tuners put into. We got the neck mounted today and tested that fit. It fits and fits well. It's perfect. We've got the bridge holes. We've mounted the neck and worked out the scale. Put the bridge holes in there. You can probably just see those guys just marked out there. Just so that we can do some sanding and we don't lose where that scale needs to be. We've got that little guy done in there for our little plug outlet output. We've got that carve in the headstock there. Put the name in there. She's all coming together, slowly but surely. And that's it for today. Let's see who's on. Fun stream. Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm just going to see who's on. And I'll see if we can raid anyone. Are you on still, all of you, or are you having a quiet beer as we speak? You lucky devil. This is taking a little bit of time. She's taking a little bit of time, of course, because of network and CPU intensity and all that sort of stuff. You know what it's like. See you, Tom. Okay, let's see who's on. Who have we got on? I'm still waiting for Twitch. My God, come on, Twitch. Who have we got in the list? Can I raid anyone? Come on. Beer and dinner, yes. Good man. That's what I like to hear. I'm going to go have lunch myself now and then get back into it for about 3 or 4 hours before Peter Northcott's on. Let's raid Pete. See if I can raid Pete. He's awesome. And that'd be good for Orby to just listen to some chill dude playing guitar while he eats and drinks. Raid. Peter Northcote. Not Peter North. Peter Northcote. Hopefully that works. We'll wait and see. Big John's. I've just missed it. I've just raided. Sorry, Mario. I've hit the create button. There we go. All right, I'm going to let it go there. Guys and girls, be good to each other. Be good to yourselves as well. Have a great afternoon. I'll see you in a couple of days. I'm going to take tomorrow off and Friday I'll be back. So I'll see you then. Until then, be good. And if you can't be good at it. Catch you later. Bye.